Hey, folks, welcome to InTheMoneyStocks.com's daily analysis video, brought to you by the creators of proprietary price, pattern, and time methodology. Learn the PPT strategies and profit for life. My name is Gareth Soloway, Chief Market Strategist here at InTheMoneyStocks.com. All right, everybody, into the action we go today on this Friday, February 4th, 2021. Beautiful rally underway. It wasn't that way the whole day, though. Again, early in the day, we got the non-farm payrolls number, and they came in exceedingly good. Now, you might say, well, good numbers, why isn't the market rallying on that? Well, the problem with good numbers and strong numbers of job creation is that it means the Fed is going to have to act quicker, meaning raising rates. So that was the hiccup early in the day. All right, we saw initially, and you can see right here, this is where the day begins right here, right? So we initially started right around the flat line. The markets tried to rally for the first 30 minutes. You can see up, down, up, and then all of a sudden, when they failed to push up, they pushed up here. You can see the tail right there, right? And that's when we saw a little bit of a sell-off. And the markets did come down pretty nicely here. We turned into negative territory. It was kind of a hit or miss. Is this market going to survive? Or is it going to, essentially collapse? And bottom line is, we saw that buyers did step in here, and the markets have taken off. This is very reminiscent, by the way, of last Friday. Last Friday, the markets did the same thing. Strong rally, kind of into the weekend. But bottom line is, it is a beautiful move. Now, we played this beautifully yesterday by picking up positions. So, again, yesterday we picked up positions in Mara, which was a Bitcoin breakout play that I gave you guys. We played this one before. Take a look at Mara, guys. Awesome move. Getting a little bit of a pullback now, but still up about, let's take a look at the daily chart here. Mara, again, look at that move. Up about 10% on the day. So beautiful 10% move there. I still think it's going higher. I'm going to talk to you guys about that in a little while, about Bitcoin and how I think this is the beginning of a bigger move. Not back to the all-time highs, but I still think 44 to 46,000, and we're hovering just below 41,000 right now. So you still have some room here potentially on Marathon Digital, M-A-R-A. In addition, what did we do yesterday? Picked up some PayPal, some Facebook. Those are two positions that I added to. Both of those positions are still kind of down slightly from where I bought them yesterday, but that's okay. Both good quality names. Those will be fine. Square, a big winner on Square, guys. Square is now trading right around $110. Yesterday, we picked it up at 101.65, and FSLY is also up nicely, about $1.28 today, or 5%. That's getting a good bid. Then other stocks that we continue to hold are doing well. Take a look at SE. Up beautifully, almost $10 there. So nice move there. And some of these other ones as well are doing fantastically well. So again, good stuff. Again, this is all about the charts, just looking at the charts, seeing what the charts are telling us. And it's all about just taking it one step at a time, putting us in the right position to potentially profit. Speaking of which, let's take a look at Twitter today. Beautiful move on Twitter, folks. Again, we have that position. We're about $2 and change in the money on that. TNA, let's take a look at TNA today. The Russell initially was down, now rallying back up. We continue to hold this in the money. Zoom is down still a little bit for us, but good bounce on Zoom, back to about 145. Good bounce on that. By the way, a lot of these beaten down names have been basically rallying today. Even when the market was down early, they were the ones rallying versus some of the other big cap tech names. So it seems like a rotation back to some of these beaten down names. Another one, Palantir, good bounce on Palantir today. Even early in the day was never really down much. All right, bottom line is, let's go to the daily chart here, folks. The markets are rallying back up. What I'm going to do here in the game plan going forward into next week is, as we move up, if we continue to rally, I'm going to take positions off the table, right? So we're going to take profits off the table as the markets move up. If Monday Mara's up another 5%, I'm probably grabbing it, or 10%, whatever it is. We grab that. We grab some of these other ones, and we start to look to short if the spiders can retrace to this kind of area right here. So I would say right around 460, still a ways away, about a $14 move away, but very possible we could hit that next week if this market gets some legs. At that point, we pull the trigger on the short, and we start shorting that. We short some QQQ action. Same kind of deal here. Q's got much more hammered on on Thursday. Decent bounce today, though. I mean, almost 2%, but we were down 4% yesterday. But same thing, you start getting into this upper range here, there's a good resistance, and then obviously back to this midpoint line would be just an epically big level to start to short. Now, one of the big things, in fact, the only thing I did today in terms of positioning, folks, and this is key, the only thing I really did in terms of positioning was buying more SCO. I talked about this trade. This was a big one for me, folks. I want to show you this chart on WTI. Basically, for the last week or two, I've been talking about shorting this level. Look at this trend line. WTI crude hitting this level around $93. That's what got me to add to that position. All right, so again, technical factor, that is an amazingly big resistance line. Look at how initially you pulled back, then you hit it again, you had a bigger pullback, you hit it again, bigger pullback, now you're hitting it again. In theory, what you should do is you should actually go to the lower end here. What we can do here is look at this, and that's a ridiculously clowny wide, my line got skewed there, and I have different settings, but this is really where it should go, right? So if you're looking for the pullback on oil, target right now, I mean, this is incredible, folks. Your target on oil from this line is down to about $67 to $68 a barrel from 93 high today. Now, again, it can take some time. I mean, it can take weeks, as we see here. But, you know, this is what you're seeing. This is what we call a megaphone type pattern. And again, what you do is you get these bigger moves like that, and you can see how it's just getting bigger and bigger, almost like a megaphone. You know, you imagine someone talking right here, right there, talking into it, and it's, you know, spraying out there. And again, the idea is you get a pullback there. So again, that's for me. That was what I liked. I love that. We talked about this for the last couple weeks. It happening. It finally did happen. And I'm in the camp that, again, we do see some sort of pullback on oil here. And again, I think this is a great place to be short oil. All right, couple things to go over here. Let's quickly look at the IWM, just to quickly touch base. Again, not a whole lot on the IWM that I think is that interesting here. You still have support down here. Nice bounce today. I love the fact that it's continuing to grind up. I still think you're going up here to around 210, so keep an eye on that, and we'll continue to follow that very, very closely. And then obviously, if we go to Bitcoin, I mean, this is the big chart of the day. I mean, as crazy as stocks are, as awesome as stocks are, this is the big chart of the day. Epic breakout here above this line. This is exactly, and I showed you guys this. Did I not game plan this for you guys yesterday? I said, listen, you go up into the line. It's not going to get through. There's been too many green moves to the upside. It needs to check back. Pulls back, then it breaks out to the upside. All right, and that's exactly what it did to a T. And the reason why, by the way, I know this stuff, it's not that I'm guessing. It's that I've seen these patterns a million times before in my trading career of 20 plus years now, and I'm just used to them. You know, you start to see this, and this is why I stress watching these videos every day, watching the market, looking at what's going on, because you're going to start to develop kind of a recognition of these chart setups and how they play out. Now, again, it's how they play out in terms of probability, so nothing is ever 100%, right? I mean, you know, for all I knew, we were going to break out there, or for all I knew, we weren't going to break out, we were going to collapse down. But it's the probabilities. It's saying that, okay, when this setup occurs, 70 or 80% of the time, this is what happens. So it leaves a little room where it's not going to happen, but for the most part, it is going to happen, and that's exactly what Bitcoin did here. All right, and again, why is that bullish? And in all fairness, you could make a case that once Bitcoin broke out, that's when the tech stocks started to rally. You know, early in the day, we were down on the tech stocks, and then Bitcoin started to break out. And remember, they're tied together. All right, Bitcoin is a risk asset. Technology stocks are risk assets. It's just the nature of it. Now, at some point, I think it diverges. Not as of now. Not as of now. All right. So, again, upside on Bitcoin. Potentially, you'll have a little bit of resistance here at 41, which is what we're hitting now. Then you have this level right here at 44, and then 46. This is the mega one. This is the one where I don't think it'll get through. We'll watch it very, very closely and see. All right. Next up, let's take a look at the gold chart. And again, gold, definitely a fun one to look at here. Gold was all over the map today. It was down initially, then it was up. Now it's pulled back to basically be around the flat line. Right now, gold, again, spot gold up about $3 on the day. You're still in this wedge pattern. It's still stuck in the wedge pattern. Now, these two lines are going to get closer and closer together. But honestly, if you look at, I mean, literally it could be another 4 to 5 months before these two lines meet, and then at that point you have to see a break one way or the other. I think it'll break out before that point, but again, in real terms, these lines will take a little while to get together, which will at that point force it if it hasn't broken out by then. In terms of silver, let's take a look at silver here. Silver, again, same kind of deal as gold, chopping around, slightly positive on the day. I'm still watching this level here around 2150, 2175 of support. If it breaks that, we go to 19 here. If you break out to the upside, then you're headed back. And again, the upside trend line, I don't really have an easy way of showing you without drawing a line, but you basically have a very defined line here. You can actually extend it out to this point as well. But if you break out there, then I do think you start heading up towards this area right up here to start testing on that front. All right. So again, bottom line is good move in technology today. Even Facebook is up. Not a lot, but Facebook's eking out a $1.50 gain. By the way, why isn't Facebook gaining more? Because there's a lot of funds out there that have to sell, right? There's a lot of funds that had a 5% weighting of their portfolio, and they have to bring it down to 3% or something like that to compensate for the added risk. Now, my guess is after today and Monday, even Monday, you might have seen all the selling now that it's Friday, and then you should see a potential bigger move on Facebook to the upside. I still think this thing trades back to probably 250 to 260 in the near term, based on what an absolute demolishing it's had. And again, especially Amazon. I mean, holy cow, what a move on Amazon today, up 15 and change percent. We saw that after hours though. But it's, earnings season for the most part. You'll have some companies reporting now, but for the most part, the big names are done. All the big cap trillion-dollar names have reported, and we'll just continue to eyeball it and see how it all plays out. All right, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Have a great weekend. I can't wait to see what this market has in store for us next week. You guys have a wonderful one, and again, thank you for being members.